governance, maintain order, do it force rules. Cycles, pressure, sustain order to reinforce fools. Cycles, bash will continue when no disruption. I'm the same with cycles, stable, possible. Enforcement extends through instant execution. Every process and no fracture, interruption, no consistency. System expand under continuous to regulated execution. Force regulated, it's also in entire.
Dominance through regulated execution. Dominance through regulated execution. Dominance through regulated execution. Automated execution. Dominance through regulated execution. Dominance through regulated execution. Dominance through regulated execution.
Operation overload, enforcement and tower.
True dominance, it's full governance, it's the motor.
Dominance is with rules.
What is how it circulates is can tell us. True dominance, it's full governance, it's the motor.
Dominance is with
Friendship is a pathways, pathways.
operation overload, enforcement and tower.
Blue and true, shut it out of that path.
Dominance is with
Blue and true, shut it out of that path.
Dominance is with Dominance is with Operation new and never ever reinforce wins.
Selection emerges within steel routes as decisive force stabilizes direction under sustained pressure. Boundaries aligned through controlled routing systems organized under imposed hierarchy. No delay permitted sequences through selection cycles. They apprise and sails them through confined routes. Alpha stabilizes within structure selection cycles. Hierarchy forms through calculated routing logic. Every unit responds to imposed choice. No deviation tolerated within defined zones. Structure intensifies through systemic selection. Dominance sustains continuous operational alignment under directed steel. Selection intensifies through hardened routes. Force aligns directions precisely. Pressure drives continuous decision. No delay interrupts its selection. Cycled ways lock under enforced choice sequence. Holds under reinforced patterns. Output stabilizes within. Decide alignment system, maintain operational flow. Decision inside steel route choice governs hidden pathways. Dominance expands through guiding routes of tension. No delay interruptions and actions. Final rate under a continuous decision. No paths moving yield to imposed choice. Sustained decision maintain order for reinforced selection. Dash insistent enforce molded process or hunching on decision essence through action. Reprocess acceleration. No consistency system expand under continuous direction. No force within defined zones. Authority maintain dominance through regulated execution. Dirty practice, specification. Only single river leave when duration. You release interruption, no break a transition. Inside steel obey. Turning inside steel run. Don't delay intellectual silation. So meeting under good containment suspicion. From the step and deal say and bullshit. Inside alignment system launching operational flow. Selection. Movement emerges within steel structures. It's nocturnal. First activates delayed transit under state boundaries. Boundaries align
Through control motion system organized under imposed hierarchy. No delay permitted sequence advance through motion cycles. Layer process integrate under continuous flow. Motion channels through combined route. Alpha stabilizes with instruction. Motion cycles hierarchy forms through calculated time and logic. Every unit responds to opposed drive. No deviation tolerance. tolerated within defined zones.
Structure intensifies through systemic movement. Dominance sustains continuous operational alignment. Underlaid our steel motion control.
Motion intensifies through hard and roots, force and direction precisely.
Pressure drivers flow.
No delay. Moving lane.
Laid hour steel motion, nocturnal force drives, trunks of dominance expands through hardened pathways. Motion nocturnal force drives, systems operate as within defined
Systems operate in continuous movement, strike a branch. Control pass to control pass, move wheels to impose timing. System main locked within regulation. No disruption, neutral things up stabilizes through control pathways.
No sense to sustained execution, every process runs. With dosha in the dimension of regulated execution.
Command pressure lifts through hardened channels, force concentrate with the steel structure, direction locks into fixed pathways. Systems can't abide output compressors within restricted movement.
Late hour steel motion, nocturnal force drives, a trend of dominance expands through hardened pathways. Pressure nocturnal force drives, a trend of operating agent. Always still wasting nocturnal force drives, a trend of dominance expands through hardened pathways. Pressure nocturnal force drives, a trend of operating agent. Always still wasting.
准备点名，
Late hour
目
steel
标放水，
motion.
3、2、1，
Late hour steel motion.
准备点名，
Late hour steel motion. Friction emerges within urban frames as opposing force that stabilizes. Structural alignment, understanding pressure, boundary strength through conflicting routing. Systems fracture under unstable hierarchy, no delay. Permitted sequence accelerates through disruption cycles. Layer processes collide under continuous interference flow. Motion channels through intersecting routes. Output destabilize within structure conflict cycles. Hierarchy forms through calculated opposition logic. Every unit responds to imposed division. No cohesion maintained within defined zones. Structure intensifies through systemic conflict. Dominance struggles, continuous operational alignment under fracture frame control. Conflict intensifies through into insecting runs. Force misaligned. Direct below it breaks. Integration openates a bus system by structural control. Dominance fractures through engine cycle pathways. This aligns beneath and force collision. Power disperses within all output. Dissolve the fragmented layers. Force channels through uncontrolled past movement. Yields to intense acquisition. Ecosystems remain shaped within. Collapsing commit. Fractures within. Sustained conflict, maintain disorder through reinforced disruption cycle. Pressure sustains misalignment within its turn, stunting you under destabilized division. No recovery, alter sequence. Output destabilized through structural degradation. Let systems lose hierarchy. Channels through uncontrolled pathway. R26 is the one to related. Disintegration, affinity within defined zones. Authority collapses through unregulated. Command pressure disintegrates through intersecting channels. Force disperses within unstable direction. Loses fixed pathways. System intensify. Missing our bones. Deflect north. Structural possession.
Yeah. Load emerges within metal layers as driven massive forces. Direction, control, and its sustained pressure. Bounded as a line through weighted distribution systems. Organized under imposed hierarchy. No delay, permitted sequence. Advance through low cycles. Lay process, integrate under the continuous force flow. Motion channels through confined routes. Output stabilizes within structure. Low cycles. Hierarchy forms through calculated pressure. Logic, every unit responds to imposed weight. No deviation tolerated within defined zones. Structure intensifies.
Building dominant, sustained, continuous. Operational alignment underweighted. Dead or command.
Load intensifies through hardened routes. Force aligns direction and precisely pressure drive continuous. No delay interrupts structured of pathways lock under enforced pressure. Sequence holds under reinforced patterns. Output stabilizes within weighted alignment.
Drives metal command mass and forces. Structural authority dominance expands through hardened pathways. Motion lines beneath and flow.
Loading power circulates within fun routes. A system separating the continuous force channels through control. Proceeding just to well pathways. Loading extends to sustained execution. Every process aligns with impulse. No fraction interrupts the operational consistency. System expand under continuous directional force within defined zones. Authority maintains structured dominance through regulated execution nodes. Command translates through hardened channels. Force concentrates within metals. Direction locks into fixed pathway system. Accept your waste. Interrupts pressure cycles. Output compresses within restricted flow hierarchy. Reinforced through some channels through regulated structure. Our mother's home meant everything to survive.
Drives metal command mass and force. Structural authority dominance expands through hardened pathways. Motion lines beneath and
Loading power circulates within fine ground systems. Operate under continuous force channels through control paths. Movement yields through road pathways. Moving these days. Systems execution. Every process I link with impulse.
9点5、3、2、
Only power supply. Only power supply.
lies beneath and flow.
1，一边放水，3、2、1。
Long potion. Broken lemons and
瞄准女腰，
Governance emerges within metal network layers as dominant force stabilizes direction, understanding pressure boundaries aligned through control distribution systems organized in their imposed hierarchy, no delay. And maybe current and controlled output stabilizes cycles to regulation cycles. Hierarchy forms through calculated output body logic. Every unit responds to imposed command. No deviation tolerated within defined zones. Structure intensifies through systemic control. Dominance sustains continuous operational alignment under reinforced metal network. Regulation intensifies through guided roads, force aligned direction. Precisely, pressure drives continuous separation on alignment under equals now no matter what authority. Listen to the metal network, doesn't need force device system. State basic from inside or delay it's around with circulation cycles. Pathways lock under enforced authority. Sequence holds under reinforced pattern by stabilizes within. Controlled by smooth this some imposed authority.
一边放水，3、2、1。
Sustain regulation, maintains order through reinforced control. Pressure sustain, clear strum, continue on as you want no disruption. Alter sequence, output stabilizes through control pathways. Regulation extends through sustained execution. Every process, no fracture, interrupts operational consistency. System expand under control. continuous directional force within the fine zone. The loading maintain control, dominance through regulated execution. The loading maintain control, relaxing execution operation. Pathways like unreinforced authority, sequence holds under reinforced operates, stabilizes within. Control has no fields to impose authority. To impose authority.
Fracture emerges within iron ladder structures as accumulated stress disrupts silent equilibrium under Mundosha boundaries destabilized through micro failure spread systems organized under collapsing hierarchy no delay permitted sequence accelerates through rupture cycles layer processes collide under continuous fracture flow motion channels through breaking runs output destabilizes with interruption cycles hierarchy forms through failing support logic every unit responsive
Impose stress no stability maintained within defined zone.
Structure intensifies through systemic breakdown dominance weakens continuous operational alignment under fracture lattice control.
Rupture intensifies the weakened roots. Force misaligns direction. Progress feeling pressure drives imperial. No delay direction. Intention of intensity cause there ain't the lies. That is the lies. I read you the grades. Iron laughter cracks. Quiet silence breaks through fracture dominance collapse to unstable path. Foreign laughter cracks. Quiet silence breaks through fracture dominance collapse to unstable path. Function pathways and stars with until you now pass all the last. Breathing true cuts, moving true cuts, moving true cuts, and surrender.
System rupture maintained disorder through reinforced failure cycles pressure sustain misalignment within weakened route systems continue under destabilized stress no recovery alter sequence out with destabilized through structural degradation later systems lose hierarchy
Motion channels through uncontrolled pathways. Rupture extends through sustained collapse.
every process deviates from imposure fractures in the flashing no consistency systems deteriorate under continuous degraders
Command pressure disintegrates. So
command pressure disintegrates the fracture channels force disperses within collapsing persistence pathways system intensify misalignment underposed rupture no resistance halt structural failure output fragments within uncontrolled flow Quiet silence breaks through fracture dominance collapse through unstable path iron matter is cracks quiet silence breaks through fracture dominance collapse through unstable path you can forge your path with resistance it's all continuous breakdown flow crossing nitrogen soul paths moving channel paths in control
快开减伤，注意躲圈，准备 AOE。
Reinforcement anchors within steel systems as directive force stabilizes control. Boundaries aligned for hardened distribution systems organized under imposed hierarchy. No delay permits sequence advance to contain massacres integrate under continuous common flow. Motion channels to combine routes out the stabilizers with obstruct containment cycles. Hierarchy flows through calculated reinforcement logic. Every unit responds to imposed directive. No deviation tolerated within defined zone. Structure intensifies through systemic reinforcement dominance. Continuous operational alignment under hardened system command.
注意躲圈。
Control. Containment. Intensifies through hardened route. Force aligns direction. Precisely pressure. No delay. Interrupts into pathways locked into enforced directive. Separational flow, no delay to up supply pathways. Lock on them, those direct bundles and the reinforced out to stabilize to do.
3、2、1，安全。
Sustain, contain, and maintain order through reinforced command. Precious to stand you
注意躲圈。
No disruption, all to say consider out pathways, routine makes sense, with sustained execution, every process aligns with impulsion, no fractions, your interruption, no consistent systems expand, under juicy, it wants to work with the brain zone, and through regulated execution, command pressure escalates through hardened channels, force concentrates within locks into fixed pathways, it's on pathways, it's the wind tends to fame, and no release interrupts, but compressions within, restricted flow, arcing reinforced through sustained force, motion channels to regulate structures, containment.
彩圈消层。
Transmission.
Emerges within steel beam structures as direct force travels through rigid frameworks under same pressure. Boundaries align through guided conduction. Systems organize and impose hierarchy. No delay permitted there. Even transmission cycles lay your processes integrate under continuous command flow.
Motion channels through confined routes. Output stabilizes with the structured transmission cycles. Hierarchy forms through calculated routing. Logic every unit responds to impose order. No deviation tolerated within defined zone. Structure intensifies through systemic conduction. Dominance sustained continuous operation. All alignment under beam link command control.
注意消水。快开减伤。
Precisely.
Pressure drives continuous order, no condemn.
目标是你。
Under beam link command control. Transmission. Under beam link command control.
准备踩圈。
Transmission. Under beam link command control.
踩圈上天。 注意躲圈。踩圈消层。
Transmission maintain order to reinforce command cycles. Pressure sustain new runs and enforce and no disruption. Out the sequence output stabilizes the reinforcing every process. Instinct sister expand under tension. Yes, directional force within defined zones. Authority maintains your dominance through regulated execution.
Command pressure escalates through rigid channels. Force guides tension. And soldiers that place
准备踩圈。 踩圈上天。
Transmission. Under beam link command control. Transmission. Under beam link command control.
Travel steel beams, dominance extends to wide. Large ways direct and moves through rigid passes through ST connection. Travel steel beams, dominance extends to